When I saw the patch notes and all the announcements for Season 1, I was excited about the new maps and new weapons, but equally so for the balance changes such as bullet deviation or spread not being so punishing after sprinting or sliding, and being more so a thing to prevent spamming full auto fire. Less aim sway penalties when jumping or when stepping on terrain or crouching. I knew that the content side of things was going to be drip fed to us, but I wasn't expecting them to miss the deadline or whatever happened with the gunplay changes. I'm guessing they wanted to make sure that they got it right, or maybe they noticed some type of big bug last minute with it where they had to delay putting it into the game. I can also understand people being angry because they look at it as a billion-dollar company making careless mistakes. Especially as a solo player, my ability to make an impact would be so much more if the bullets went where I aimed after sprinting or sliding behind cover, trying to get myself in a tactical position to flank the enemy, or even just gain ground and better map control. Recently, I've been getting this crazy visual glitch on the Empire State map where I aim down sights and the whole screen just distorts as if my GPU's failing or something. But it's only on that one map, and sometimes it fixes itself mid-match. I usually just leave though. Same thing that I do when I see people using the recon drone sledgehammer glitch to go to places on the map that are normally inaccessible. This makes something like Breakthrough nearly if not unplayable when you have somebody in the lobby doing that. They need to just disable the sledgehammer until they fix that, because you're unable to actually play the game when somebody's in some area nobody's gonna logically look and shouldn't have to. It completely ruins the flow of the game. Spawn logic and other things just go out of the window, and it just becomes really annoying. Breakthrough can already be pretty annoying. I've pretty much given up on the idea of getting footsteps in this game. I've heard that they're not so hot on Battle Royale as well, and the servers are 30 ticks on there. That, along with them not having solos yet, has kind of turned me away from wanting to even try it. I've always just been a multiplayer respawn mode kind of enjoyer for the most part though. I think my biggest gripe with the game is the maps, regardless of the size. I feel like some of the map design just forces you into one of a few, just usually a few decisions where there's always somebody laying prone, aiming at where you have to go. It feels like certain zones are designed for a certain side to have a massive advantage, and it becomes completely reliant on how aggressive your team plays, how much fun you're going to have in that particular sector. If everybody just stays back shooting pot shots and acting scared, it's usually a miserable experience where you can't move without getting shot by somebody halfway across the map that you can't even visually see. If everybody's pushing forward and grabbing real estate on the map, you can actually find people and have gunfights without it completely being a game of Where's Waldo, where it's literally hide and seek with guns. Whoever lays patiently for the longest waiting for somebody to run across their crosshair usually wins, especially when you're punished so heavily right now with the bullet spread after sprinting or sliding. The game in this current state literally favors the player that's standing still, except for a few moments where you might slide around a corner and hip fire, or shotgun somebody, or make an aggressive move at such a close range that it literally wouldn't matter because you're close enough to melee. I think once they make the changes, the flow of things are going to improve, especially for solo players. That said, I think the game's always been kind of fun or irritating based on how coordinated a specific team is playing. If you have a bunch of snipers that all just lay prone in the headquarters on your team, you can pretty much consider that match to be a loss. Some of the games you can tell very quickly how things are going to go. I guess at the end of the day it doesn't really matter, it's just a game for fun. Everybody's going to play it how they want to, even if the objective is to win. But a lot of times it's just going to be a lobby filled with random people, all doing their own thing. This could be a result of some of the challenges that they have in the game, or it could just be people trying to slow the pace down to their liking. I feel like the game is a totally different game if you play as a recon and just snipe hanging back really far. It's like you're way less in danger. People probably like that style because you have way more control over the pace, less randomness going on around you, nobody sneaking up on you with no footsteps, especially if you're in the spawn. I think I just want more maps. I'm not really enjoying Blackwell Fields. I think snipers seem to be the one who gets the most out of that. On a previous video I compared Battlefield 6 to Modern Warfare 2019 Ground War, and I think the biggest comparison that I would draw is the compression of skill gap that they've done. Making the game have a faster time to kill makes it easier for everybody to get a kill, and it makes it easier for a lower skilled player to beat a higher skilled player simply because they see him first, and there's less time for the higher skilled player to react and do an outplay. That's just what it is. Anybody can kill anybody really easily on this game. All you have to do is have your hitbox exposed. Peek over the wrong rock, run around the wrong corner, and somebody's already pre-aiming there, and you're gonna die in 4 bullets. So you die really fast and you kill really fast on this game. The current bullet spread favors players who like to hide or lay prone or just hold down a lane, but not the player that's trying to push the objective that requires them to go through that lane. Their bullets are going to be less accurate just because they had to sprint or slide behind cover to get past the choke point. Overall, I think the game's a lot of fun, but it can be really frustrating at times. It can feel like some matches are basically unplayable in terms of the map layout, the particular scenario that you're in. A lot of times I'll join a match in progress and it's like, okay, I could see why people left this one. Because you can't even move. You spawn in and you get sniped. You spawn in and you get sniped again. I think this is the most apparent on the new Blackwell Fields map on Breakthrough. It literally just feels like if you move, you get shot. And then maybe occasionally you'll look up and you'll find yourself in a nice little nook or cranny where the enemy doesn't know you're there. You can just shoot a bunch of them as they're pushing forward. If they're pushing forward, they usually don't even push forward. It just feels a little bit too random. It feels like the map's designed to feed kills to players. That's the best way that I could probably put it. I think that's my gripe. There's just a lack of readability, too much randomness. Don't get me wrong, there is strategy, there is positioning, there's a bunch of things that you do have player agency over, but something like the slide bullet deviation bug, or that happening after sprinting, it just adds RNG into the game that can make all your previous efforts to set up a really good flank or a really good push just be in vain. It feels like you got robbed. You did everything right, and then because you happen to be sprinting or you happen to slide behind that cover before you peeked and started shooting, your bullets are just going all over the place. That doesn't feel like a good reinforcement mechanism within the game. It feels like some carnival game BS when it happens, honestly. Overall, I obviously love the game with 106 hours logged so far. I just feel like it's currently suffering from the live service problems where drip-fed content is either hit or miss, and then there's a slow period in between. I guess I'm glad at least that they didn't release a patch with the game in a more buggy state than it already is. They definitely need to go ahead and remove those sledgehammers though for now.